Hello, good morning, class 12th. So, welcome you all as you have entered to your next class, that is class 12th, and you are the senior most class now in the school life. And I really hope that you should do wonders and you should be very serious from the very first day of your studies, right? So, let's discuss few things about class 12th English and then we will come to our studies part 2. Right? So we are having English core code number 301 as we had in class 11. You are having 3 sections here. One is reading section, then writing section, and then the literature. And in the literature, you are having 2 books, Flamingo and Vistas. Right. Flamingo is your main course book and Vistas is the supplementary. So basically in Flamingo, you are having your poetry section. You are having your poems too in the Flamingo. That is why it's the main course book and Vistas is the supplementary, right? So we need to focus on all the things. We need to understand it deeply because the literature portion is very interesting. Whether it's the prose, whether it's the poems, very interesting chapters and plays you are having it. You will seriously love it. Next thing you need to remember is that when you will prepare the literature portion, you need to focus on the keywords as I always focus in your 11th standard also, right? So keywords are very important. You can't neglect it because there will be reference to context even from the prose, not only from the poetries. So we need to give the focus. Next, what you need to understand about it, that in the writing sections, obviously you will get the things one by one we will discuss. We would be having these short compositions as well as the long compositions. So you will be having these things as well as you are having your letters in your writing skills. And in the short composition, you're having new thing which I would say about related to the invitations part. So as we will move forward, we will discuss about various things. So you need to understand that you need to focus. You can't neglect, you can't say that you will do English at the end. Sorry, it would not help you out. You need to be regular, you need to be sincere from day 1 onwards. So I hope it's clear to you. Next, I want to tell you the same thing we are having. The theory paper would be of 80 marks and 20 marks is for the ASL. So total you are having 100 marks paper. So reading skill, you know about it. Unseen passages would be there. No thinking would be also there. So you need to focus on this, that how you need to make the strategies. You can't avoid the subject. You can't say that you will do it at the end because you know that in all the streams the subject is mandatory. So let's come to the Flamingo one. We are going to start from the Flamingo, our first book and the first chapter out of that. So here we come. We are having our Flamingo book and from that the first chapter we are having the last lesson, right? So let's try to understand what this chapter is all about. This chapter is written by Alphonse Daudet. So let's try to read about him first and try to understand what this chapter is all about, right? So Alphonse Daudet, he was born in the year 1840 and died in 1897. He was a French novelist and short story writer. The story, you need to understand it deeply. The story is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War in the year 1870 and 71. You need to underline. In which France was defeated by Prussia, led by Bismarck. Right? You need to understand this very carefully. Then it says about Prussia. Then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. So in the story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussian hands, Read the story to find out what effect this had on life at school. So you're able to understand this chapter is about a story of a school life, and especially the war was going on, Franco-Prussian War. It's written in, it happened in the 1870 and 71, and how the France it was defeated. So in the districts of the Alsace and Lorraine, French language was banned. It because now the Prussians were going to rule on them. As you remember, when we Indians, when our nation was in the hands, or when we were under the Britishers, how Britishers forced us to adapt their culture, forced us to speak only in English. So in the same manner, this chapter is all about this, that what exactly happened. So you need to understand here that this story, what basically it happens, we need to understand. So I really want to tell you a few things about this story too, that this story focuses on the patriotism. We need to understand the story focuses on patriotism first. Then it tells us about it how we procrastinate the things. How we procrastinate the things. And thirdly, we are able to understand here. I'm going to remove these two from here so that I can write another one. And the next thing what we are going to learn about is like the patriotism. Then I have mentioned you about how we procrastinate the things. One more thing we are going to learn here is about linguistic chauvinism. Just a second. Yeah. Linguistic chauvinism. So these things are here which we are going to learn about in this story, in this chapter. So procrastination, patriotism, linguistic chauvinism, or even I would say one more thing here about this love towards your language. Love towards your language. So this chapter tells us about all these things here, right? So what I would suggest you just read the chapter, just read the first few pages, and then we are going to understand what exactly happened. And one more thing I can tell you here right now is that you need to understand that in this chapter we are having two characters. The story is based on two characters. One is about little Franz, who is a student, and the teacher M. Hamel, who is the French teacher. And then while reading it, we will try to understand about the expressions which are written here in the text, and we are going to try out find out the meanings also. Right, till then you are having a homework also that you need to tell that what is the importance of your mother language, and how would you feel if somebody would pressurize you to stop speaking on your mother tongue or on your regional language, and somebody would force you to speak on some other language. That you need to tell me about it first, right? So this is very, very important to understand that how it feels. And secondly, you can tell about that what are the things you procrastinated, what are the things you delayed in learning, that yes, we will do it at the end, but unfortunately when you try to cherish that thing is not in your hand. So right now we are winding it up here. In the next class we will directly start reading from it. So I really hope it's clear to you. Thank you. God bless you all, and please read it. The first few pages, I would suggest you to read the first 3 pages only, and then we are going to discuss about it and send the work timely. God bless you.